and welcome back to another episode of Mono's Rants. I am your host, Mono Shake. You guys, what is happening? What's popping? We had a bit of a last-minute switch out with our guest today. My previous guest, I had mentioned, James Duke Mason, will be appearing in next week or so, since he had a last-minute emergency. But not to be outdone, I have another amazing guest today. Because I'm pretty cool with my friends. I have some cool friends. I don't like to show off too much. But I'm very excited about my guest today. But today's topic is pretty heavy duty. It's very touchy. It's sensitive. And it's about kids in cages. You know, my guest, who's going to be arriving here shortly, him and I were having this discussion about kids in cages and how the Biden administration has not said anything yet about how they're going to reconnect those 500 displaced kids, missing kids rather. How are they going to locate them? How are they going to reconnect them with their parents? It's a very problematic thing at the moment. My friend here, my guest here, is trying to log in. Let's see if it works. All right. How exciting. Technology. Isn't it supposed to make our lives easy? You would think so, but that's not the case. You know. Using your... Look at this. Look. Did you see me? I was typing. I wasn't even looking. I was looking straight ahead. That's what I was doing. I was looking straight ahead. All right. I'm waiting for my guest to come in. You guys, I was reading this article. This article came out not too long ago. And this article was about a journey about this young Latino kid who, got brought into the U.S., was trying to escape poverty, trying to escape pain and suffering. I mean, look, if you are an immigrant coming into this country, trying to do whatever you can, and you come from, you don't have a lot of money, you don't have any money for that matter, you're escaping poverty, you're escaping violence, you're escaping, no jobs, you're doing whatever you can to provide your family a better life. You're trying to do whatever you can to provide your children a better life. And then somehow to show up to the border of the United States, which actually legally, you are absolutely legally entitled to show up as a refugee and, apply for paperwork to see if you'll get the asylum, and then be treated like a criminal. Like, look, my family, we didn't come as refugees, but we're an immigrant family. Like, we came here, mainly because I think I've mentioned this quite a few times. 2 of my brothers were given expired vaccination for polio in Pakistan, and we came here because of that. Now, we were a little bit more on the blessed and privileged side that my father had the money to send us here and, for my mom and my brothers to come here. But so many people kind of escaping poverty and violence don't have that kind of access. So, all right, my guest is here. We're going to do a little powwow. The very talented actor and comedian, Rick Overton. How are you?
Hey, Mona, thanks for your patience. I think I got everything right now.
I see, Rick. You got it figured out.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you just fine. Can you hear me?
Yeah, it's a little digi. It's just, I'm going through the cell phone. It's got a clip and a ring with a light, and you clip the phone in, and it faces back. And I gotta get new. Yeah.
Look at you. You're like so. You're so like high tech.
Yeah. I'm only about 5 years behind right now. I'm really
Rick, I not too shabby there, Rick. Not too shabby. Rick, have you heard anything about the Biden administration doing anything to reconnect these lost children or locate them? What's going on?
Yeah, that's a great question, Mona. What the hell is going on? I mean, we do like the other gestures, putting Harriet Tubman on 20. That's a very, very heartwarming gesture. Now, How about putting those 20s into people's hands? How about adding that?
Sure. Right? Agreed. 100%. I mean, look, they were saying they're going to give a $2,000 stimulus check, and now they knocked it down to $1,400 because they're like, oh, yeah, we gave you $600 already. So, And honestly, Rick, it really should be, if you really think about it, it really should be $3,000 a month until until the vaccines have been rolled out, until the economy's picking back up. $3,000 a month. Rick, so many people are going to debt.
How many people that went in the hole because of nothing being thrown their way, not even scraps?
Precisely.
Now build with whatever you give. I mean, if there was ever a generation that was owed some payback for their tax dollars that they put in.
Yes.
We are seeing this money given away to people that we would never have volunteered for them to have a penny of it.
That's right. I mean, you know what's fascinating, Rick? Whenever it comes to law enforcement and the military, we always find money. Oh, yeah. Oh, my God, what do you need? 40 billion? No problem. 2 trillion? No problem. The moment it's about helping out the working class, the moment it's about bailing out, the hardworking people that are the backbone of this fucking country. Sorry, can't find the money. Sorry, don't know where the money is. Sorry. Oh, it's too much money. It's too much. The Republicans, it's too much.
Oh, but we put a thin veneer of blue over the austerity.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be a calming color so that you calm down and you're not angry while this is going on.
Sure.
And sleep.
Yeah. Well, like, I know that you are also not a fan of the Democratic Party so much. Forget the Republicans. The Democrats are not really your real cup of tea either. Am I correct to say that?
I would say that neither party is really doing much for people.
Mm-hmm.
And it has more to do with that. So I'm not so much a label basis person as I am a intention and action sort of person. As their record they have done or not done. That just nothing is louder these days than inaction.
Yeah. I agree with you. I mean, like just in the first 10 days, Biden has reversed a lot of the bullshit stuff, like reversing the Muslim ban, stopping the Keystone pipeline being put in. That's a big accomplishment. The wall, we're going to build a wall. Fuck the wall. The walls, that bullshit ended. But now it's about kids in cages. Like these kids, we need to get rid of the cages entirely. There should be no such thing. It's not a crime to come from a poor country. It's not a crime, right?
What is the Statue of Liberty even there for?
Precisely. Exactly. I mean, agree.
Where you wake up and the aliens took over and rewrote all the rules of where you live overnight. Of course, it's not overnight. We have to be so distracted that 40 years looks like overnight.
That's right. I mean, in a matter of 4 years, Rick, I mean, you do gotta hand it to the Trump administration on the kind of death and destruction that they have caused. 400,000 Americans dead, putting kids in cages. We don't know where half the... I fear, Rick, that Mr. Trumpy, the pedophile himself, if those kids ended up with his wealthy friends, if they're being used by their wealthy friends. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, I don't think the wealthy friends are done making life rotten for everybody else.
Yeah.
The most interesting is, though, I think this is the first time in our lifetimes that we're seeing that suddenly life's getting a little weird for them.
Right.
Maybe for the first time in about just their like an awareness backlash that is blowing up larger than it ever had before, and there's no way to put it out now. They can't. They try to put it out though. It's like putting water on a grease fire.
That's right. I mean, I think
keep compounding and getting bigger and weird.
Yeah. Rick, don't you think that social media has given a lot of power to the common man to be able to record stuff, put stuff up, call the bullshit out in a way that it's never been done before?
I think that's what all the lockdown on media is going to be about now. Lots of the left-wing voices are getting censored and kicked off now. It was that whole, we're going to get rid of Trump's Twitter account, and then they just use that same, it's like a boulder that hit the one thing you needed to. Now it just keeps going through the city and wiping everything else out in its path.
Yeah.
It's the consequence of saying yes to a thing that doesn't stop one thing you.
Yeah. Rick, do you
They're
think
not
it was
going to
a
come for any voice they don't like. The one
Yeah.
part won't be a fair.
Yeah. Rick, are you on Wi-Fi, by the way? Are you on Wi-Fi at all? Are you on your Wi-Fi?
Damn, it's just going as fast as it can go.
No, but I
Yes.
think it might be better if you just get off the Wi-Fi and just use your phone data. So just get off the Wi-Fi. The Wi-Fi is making you choppy. Look at that. Look at that, Rick. You're learning technical stuff. Yeah. You can just take off the Wi-Fi and then it's gonna run just fine because it's coming across very choppy. Oh, look, Tim is here. Hi, Mona. Hi, James. Tim is here. Smack those thumbs up, people. Let's show Mona some love. Thank you, Tim. Tim, always nice to see you. Always nice to see you. Guys, Rick is not in the dark. Rick is asked Rick to take himself off Wi-Fi.
Hello. Can you see me?
I cannot.
Any better?
There you are. There you are.
You're going right.
Yeah. Are
Hey,
you?
Is that clear?
Yeah. It's a little bit. It's a little choppy. Are you sitting by the window? Where are you sitting?
This is it. This is where the setup is. Can't move any. It's just all locked into place now. Yeah, it's the window's not far away. That's right.
Okay. Your image is a little choppy, but your sound is perfect. Before your sound was choppy too.
One needs to look at this all night.
Well, you know what? I won't torture you for too long. So maybe we can have a discussion, and then I won't torture you any further.
That's not torture. If you can hear me, that's the most important part. Believe me.
I can totally hear you, Rick. I can totally hear you. Rick, I was reading this article. It was in this thing called the Mercury News, I believe. And they were talking about this one incident of this young kid coming into, being brought into America by, it was hired by, his parents hired this older, like Latina lady, and he was calling her mom at the border. She said, "That's my kid," and she brought him into America, left him at like some motel while they waited anxiously because she had to go back and get the kid's parents. And the kids, by the time the parents came along, they had to crawl through sewage pipes, and they were covered in fecal matter just to come into the country, just for a safer, better life for themselves. Why is that? I mean, it really is about color, isn't it, Rick?
It has been sort of a horrible tradition that a lot of our history has been buried, but is being, dug up. That says that has driven a great deal of what has gone on here.
Yeah.
Everywhere, and not just in the South.
Yeah. I mean, when people were coming in from Europe, I wonder if there were policies or politicians who were thinking, you know what? Maybe we should build cages and separate the people coming in through on the ships and separate their children from their parents, because we don't really know if they're legit people, if they're coyotes. Maybe they're bringing in drugs or crimes, Rick?
I know. I don't understand.
Yeah. I mean, Rick, your ancestry is Scottish.
Oh, I'm sorry, what?
I said your ancestry is Scottish. So you're what? Second generation or third generation?
Many. My family line goes back to the Mayflower. As white as white can be.
Back to the Mayflower, Rick.
Yeah,
Holy shit, that's crazy. Wow.
And then lots of other people invited to the from that point on. It's not just that one strain, and so, but it did. There's some of that back there. Or so I was told. I come out of the ones that got kicked out.
Yeah. Wow. It's not often I come across people who are like, yeah, my family goes all the way back to the Mayflower times. It's like, whoa.
Not the whole family. And there's some folks came from here and came from there and up north, and but I am tapping from a very, evidently, I'm only tapping from a pretty light pool of, for at least the tracking in the old days before DNA, it was tracking off of the family tree tracers that would get into the files and the books in the libraries. And so I'm, Scottish, English, Welsh, Irish, and a little Danish. And that's like it.
Yeah. And Rick,
from a puddle.
I don't think your ancestors would have any stories of, hey, we had to crawl through sewage to sneak into the country to give you guys a better life.
No.
Right.
I know.
You're right. I mean, when Reagan was around, I remember in the 80s, my mom was in America at the time getting my brother's treatment. And I remember being a kid and my mom going back and telling my dad and telling us, being like, Reagan's giving out green cards. Like, Reagan's giving out citizenships. And my dad was like, I don't know if I want to live in America. My dad never really wanted to live in the US. He always wanted to live in Pakistan. And I remember, so I always remember a kind, welcoming, generous America. That's the America that I've learned to love and grow. Rick?
I was raised in a much more isolated perspective about this place.
Yeah.
Rather than, when I was being raised, there were all manner of unrest was going on. From 1954 on, there was all kinds of stuff in the streets as people were becoming aware and standing up for their rights more, in different ways. And so I was born into a world that had that dynamic going on, but I'm seeing it. They're using the social media in a different way now than ever before. And so, yes, there's a negative version, the guys that went after the Capitol. But then there's
the Capitol riots.
Wow. Variety show less staged than that. But
do you think it was staged? Do you think it was staged?
The way the officers let them in, the most secure building in the world, the cops went, oh, okie doke.
Yep. I mean, if that doesn't tell you something,
shut it down. Here they come. Let them through.
Precisely. Rick, I think your voice is coming through really cut out. So let's do this. Let's take you off of this. I'll call you on your cell phone and we'll just do an audio with you. How about that?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because you're getting. Yeah, no, that's okay. So just I'm gonna kick you out of this, and I'm gonna call you on your phone.
Yeah. Here.
No worries. All right, we're gonna get Rick on the audios. Rick, can you hear me? Rick?
Hey, how's that?
Yeah.
All right.
That's
better?
So much clearer because I can't see you, I can't hear you. It just it's killing the vibe.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. It's not your fault. It's team.
Just got worse and worse around here.
Yeah. What do you have? You have AT&T? What do you have?
Yeah, that and Spectrum.
That and Spectrum. All good. All good. We can just do an audio. So Rick, what you were gonna say? You were making a comment before we started a live stream that if we could, that whole bullshit with Space Force. Remember where Trump was like, "We're gonna spend money in Space Force." It's like Space Force. That sounds like a
Earth Force rescue. Isn't the Space Force to rescue us? Or, unless it's pretending to be alien and attack us, it's the other version is you help us. And how about take that money from Space Force?
Yeah.
And all those new minted $20 bills, and you start rescuing us.
Yeah.
the standard, I like your proposal for that additional 1,000, so it's 3,000 a month. That makes more sense now because we have a lot of recouping to do. It isn't just starting from scratch.
That's correct. I mean, look, people.
Great idea there.
Yeah, people are in debt, right?
Yeah,
If even
so desperately in the hole, just driving by all these entire areas filled with tents.
Yep.
Now.
Yep.
Everywhere.
Yep. I mean, Brentwood. Rick.
Listen, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I have to call you right back. I'm sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
Right.
You guys, if you haven't been to Brentwood in Los Angeles, I highly recommend you go and make a trip. If you're in LA, that is a trip absolutely worth making, because when you pass by, first of all, Brentwood, let me lay it out to you. Brentwood is one of the most expensive neighborhoods in Los Angeles, like hands down one of the most expensive. It's closer to the water. It's very fancy. And if you go by there, there's tents everywhere, like homeless tents, and you're just like, what the hell is going on? Why can our government not take care of our homeless? Why cannot Mayor Garcetti and Governor Newsom, who I personally have just not become a fan of over in the last few years. I've just lost so much respect for Mayor Garcetti. I've lost so much respect for Governor Newsom, mainly because of the fact that, you as a resident of Los Angeles, I look around and I'm like, man, there are so many homeless people in the streets. We are a state that is in surplus. Before the pandemic hit, we had a ton of money. Why is there not money being dedicated to take care of homeless people? I mean, if the wealthiest nation in the world is not going to take care of its vulnerable, but then who can? I mean, where is this money going? Why can we not do this? How much bureaucracy and red tape must one go through just to take care of the most vulnerable in our society? Why can we not have social workers and psychologists and therapists and doctors to help these people out? Some people are just down on their luck. Help them out. Get them the tools they need. You know what? Somebody I recently read, somebody wrote this really great quote. They said, some people are too poor to even go on a job interview. And I was just like, what does that mean? And they're like, yep, think about it. You need a suit. You need money. Maybe you need a babysitter to take care of your kids. You need transportation. You need to make copies of your resume. You need to look professional. All those things cost money. You need to have a cell phone. You need to have internet access to be able to build your resume, send it out. All those things cost money. So yeah, some people are even too poor to go out and get a job. How do we help those people out? How do we, as the richest country on the planet, with two of the wealthiest people on the planet who reside right here in our great nation, cannot take care of our most vulnerable? How is that possible? It's disturbing to me. James said, Mona, if you don't mind answering, would you think about signing the Newsom call? Listen, I already signed it, but if you want to send it to me, I'll re-sign it. I don't care. I have just lost so much respect. Somebody was telling me that they voted for Newsom because he's good looking. I was like, what? What do you mean? They're like, oh yeah, I voted for Gavin Newsom. He's so handsome. He's so easy to look at. I'm just like, he's not going to be very fucking easy to look at when you're getting evicted. He's not going to be very easy to look at when you have burglaries happening in your place, because your governor and the mayor of the city are too fucking fucked up to get up and actually do something. Now they all act like all helpless. They go around saying, oh no, we're going to do this and do that. And they don't do shit. You're just like, you're the fucking mayor of Los Angeles. Do something. You're Mayor Garcetti. You're Governor Newsom. You are a governor of a state that has the 5th largest economy in the world. You have access to cash in a way that really a lot of other states don't. Do something. But there's so much lip service. There's a lot of bullshit. And now it goes back to the same thing that we're also talking about kids in cages. I mean, look, Biden is currently the president of the United States. And I know just in the first 10 days, he's managed to do a lot of really good stuff. But kids are still in cages. There are 500 children still missing. Who's going to go and find those kids? What is going to happen to those children? I do like the fact that there's going to be 11 undocumented workers, folks who are going to be given access to citizenship, and rightfully so. Make them part of the system. Make them pay taxes. Incorporate them. Cut back on this. I mean, this is ridiculous. All right, our guest is back. Rick, are you back?
So sorry about the delay, but we got it sorted out. It's a big one. I got a big surgery coming up.
All good, all good. Rick, this whole Space Force thing, do you know a lot about it?
They're a little secretive about the whole thing.
Yeah.
You wonder what they actually have, but I don't know.
So this is what it says on Google. If you put Space Force, it says it was founded on December 20th, 2019 by Commander-in-Chief President Trump, former president. The United States Space Force is a space service branch of the U.S. Armed Forces and is one of the 8 U.S. Uniformed services, and it's the world's first, and as of 2021, only independent space force. I don't know. Does any of that make sense to you? I don't even know what that means.
There are dependent space forces?
Yeah, they're saying it's a space service branch of the U.S. Armed Forces and is one of the 8 U.S. uniformed services, and is the world's first, and as of 2021, only independent space force. So apparently, the Israeli government came out and said that President Trump at the time knows about aliens, that they're here.
Yeah, that's what the general said. I saw that. I saw a report about him coming out and admitting that we know about aliens. And then that story just kind of went,
I'm actually shocked that aliens would. I'm shocked aliens would even talk to us. I'm shocked. I'm so shocked. I mean, haven't they seen the Kardashians? They're like, oh my God, you guys watch this? We're not coming here. Goodbye.
The car crashians.
The car crash. I call them the car trashians.
Because of how horrible it is, yeah.
The car trashians, because they're trash.
Well, if you have the did you ever see the movie Prometheus, where it's just like we are just the offspring, micro version of a giant species of muscular godlike beings that just made little mini beings like us?
I've heard of Prometheus, but I've never seen it.
Their traits, all of our aggression is their aggression, stuff like that.
Oh, interesting. No, I haven't seen it, but yeah, I mean, I wonder how much money has been given to Space Force, and I wonder if we can take some of that money out and help out the average American who's currently fucking scraping the bottom right now.
Well, that's crazy hippie talk. I'll listen to you with your actual moral compass.
Yeah, I need to put a rest to that, right? It's too much.
Yeah, before some investor gets hurt.
I mean, listen, corporations are people too. You remember Mitt Romney? Corporations are people too.
Yeah, they're really creepy people.
Very creepy as fuck, Rick.
You get it.
They're so fucking creepy. Okay, and sorry to go all over the place, but the CEO of Apollo Investment, now finding out that he gave $158 million to Jeffrey Epstein. Really? Yeah. What for?
That's a lot of money.
That's a lot of children.
Yeah. Jesus.
How many children did they buy? How many girls and how many little boys were being peddled to these fucking pedos?
Right. Oh my God. Right.
It's sickening. By the way, isn't it fascinating how everything is quiet about Ghislaine Maxwell? She still lives. She hasn't accidentally hung herself.
Oh.
Right?
She's in prison somewhere.
She's in prison somewhere. And by the way, Trump didn't pardon her either, which is pretty shocking.
Yeah, what's the deal with that? Wouldn't she be on the list of 100?
I don't think he would do that. I think that would be admitted guilt, I think.
Oh. Yeah, maybe.
What do you think?
Maybe. Yeah.
I mean, listen,
that would look pretty bad.
Yeah.
I'm not denying that would look pretty bad.
I mean, Trump's whatever representatives or whatever came out and said that the inside news was that he wasn't going to pardon himself, and he wasn't going to pardon Giuliani. He wasn't going to pardon his children, because that would get him in a lot more trouble than he already is.
It would look like the nepotism that it always would be, but
I think it would also look like they're guilty as fuck, is what it would look like.
totally. And he's always had a ruthless side, even including family.
Right. He doesn't care. Rick, Eric Trump will be the first one to go, because he's the ugly and the dumbest one. He's gonna be the first one to go.
Oh, he's the Fredo.
He's totally the Fredo.
Yeah.
He's
Cuomo's not Fredo,
he's
right.
He's so the Fredo. So Rick, what do you think happens to the children now that they're in cages? What happens to them?
What happens? That's another great question, Mona. What do we do about these kids in the cages now that we have seen some nice things that have some impact, to say that he is discontinuing private prison contracting? And I don't know what happens with all the previous other contracts going on with them. But let's see what happens in the long run, if it is symbolic or a larger gesture. Then how about you take that same notion and free the children and put them at least in another setting while they recuperate from the trauma you have put them through. Get them out of that place first.
Right.
You know what they're afraid of is reparations, probably. They're afraid of, if these people ever turn and flip on them, we'll never be out of court for the rest of our lives. It's like a war crime. You got to figure out what to do with all the witnesses when it's this big.
Right. I mean, look, there was a hearing. I think it was a Senate committee hearing that happened last year. Rashida Tlaib was part of it, and many other, Democrats were also a part of it. And they all came and testified about, like getting these kids out of cages. And they had a lady there. I think she was from Mexico. She came here with her little baby girl. They took the child away from her, put the child in a cage. That baby got double pneumonia, and they didn't really give the child any medical care, and that poor baby girl died, right? So this woman came out and she sued the U.S. government. I mean, if we start really looking at the lawsuits that the parents of these children that are locked in cages that are going to start filing these lawsuits, I think the country might go bankrupt.
Absolutely. If honestly, if you think about it, if every bit of reparations were to begin to get paid, they would just have to invent a new monetary system.
Right. Yeah, maybe we can.
So much of what we're going through is the theatrics of avoiding that. It's one of the reasons they don't want to completely legalize marijuana everywhere. What about everyone? Hey, what about all the time my cousin was locked up? And there's another thing, Then in their minds, it's like no good deed goes unpunished. Other than it's just the beginnings of justice for monstrosities.
Right. I mean, if you really look at any of the states that legalize marijuana, they've just done well. Financially, they've done very well.
Well, better than everybody else.
Better than everybody else. I mean, what's one of the poorest states in the country? Mississippi, the least educated, the highest number of abortions probably, the least amount of money. And of course, who is the person representing them? Mitch McConnell.
Right.
What do you think Rick is gonna, this Space Force money? So get this, about 5 hours ago, they said the U.S. Space Force acquisitions is getting a fresh look. That's what the lawmakers are saying. And then Space Force weather should be excellent for SpaceX's next Starlink launch. So Space Force is going full force.
Yeah, it looks like a lot of rich people are thinking about getting the hell off of Earth and soon.
Right? But where are they going to go? I mean, where are they going to go? Mars? Can't go to Mars.
They're treating it, in a big stainless steel.
You think they're gonna live in like stainless steel containers?
Go off to Mars and be safe on Mars, away from, poverty and strife.
Man, I mean, what's fascinating to me, Rick, is that we have two of the wealthiest people in the world living right here in America, Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos.
Yeah.
But yet we can't find money to help out the average American. We can't find money to take care of some poor immigrants coming into the country, just trying to escape poverty and crime. We don't have money for that, right, Rick?
Oh, of course there's no money for that. Don't you know what's important, Mona?
What's important, Rick?
This new gun we're putting in the desert that will shoot garbage at enemy satellites so we don't waste ammunition. So it'll be the desert garbage cannon. And it's going to be firing off all of our refuse until Earth just has a Saturnian ring of crap going around it.
Yeah.
And it'll be our new defense shield. Is we're going to use our own garbage and trash in space as a space shield to stop the aliens.
Wow.
And every night there'll be so many shooting stars that everybody gets a wish.
Rick, there's no way in fucking hell the aliens that are here are the smart ones. They're the dumb ones. They have to be dumb aliens. They have to be.
Is that like like when a cop gets a really bad detail because the sergeant hates him?
Yeah, kind of like that. I think the aliens that are here were the dumbest ones on their planet, and then they came here.
This is dummy detail, man. It's dangerous.
Yeah.
It's also hazard pay because an alien, like, you want to talk about, this is like a xenophobic planet that's been raised on nothing but movies that say that aliens are here to attack you, and if an alien shows up now with the cure for anything in his hand, they're going to shoot him down like Play 2.
Yeah. I wonder.
Can't explain himself or anything.
I mean, I wonder if the QAnon people have come up with a theory that the vaccinations that we have for COVID now came from aliens. I wonder.
There you go. That's a good one.
Right?
That would be that would actually make a cool movie idea. Is that what a clever way for the aliens to invade, right?
Right.
And that they have 3 different invasion routes. One of them is through the needle.
Yeah.
And then they have to program you. And so there's a certain kind of video game that you have to watch.
Okay.
And then you format yourself in your brain, and suddenly you're starting to think like the alien, and they took you over. And it's like the Body Snatchers, but with today's imagery and technology and stuff like that. That's not a bad idea. That's cool.
Yeah, you like that? That's
not a bad idea, actually. That would be a fun, cool, modern twist on an old theme, People looking to change.
Do you think people would actually freak the fuck out if there were actual aliens that we held press conference with?
Not anymore. No.
No? I'm excited. I want to see aliens. I want to see them.
Let's get that out of the way already, please.
I would love to meet an alien and just shake their hand to be like, you're the dumbest one on your planet, aren't you? Thank you for being here. That's lovely.
You're going to take his hand, or are you going to do the fake and pull your hand away with your thumb?
Yeah, exactly. I'm gonna try to learn their sign. They probably have a hello sign that they do with their hands or their whatever. Whatever. Yeah. I would love to teach them, just to give them the middle finger and be like, "This is how we greet each other on planet Earth."
Yeah. Take this back with you to your people.
Take this back. You just you just pull up the middle finger. That's it. That's how we greet each other here.
Wave to say Earth sends this.
Yeah. Or just flash your butt. Just flash yourself. This is how we greet humans. Speaking of
there's a reason we call it mooning.
There's a reason we call it mooning. By the way,
some people call it Marsing. Now you're Marsing.
By the way, did you hear about Beijing doing anal swabs because they're more accurate for COVID testing?
No.
Yeah. So apparently you're gonna like now have like anal drive-through tests. Apparently.
Okie doke.
Who's gonna stick their ass out of their window for them to swab
That's
your ass?
That's standard college kid, initiation of some sort.
It sounds like initiation of some
Youngsters are gonna
sorority.
roll up for this one.
Yeah, sounds like an initiation for some fraternity or sorority, doesn't it?
Yeah. And you have to keep a silver dollar wedged in there the whole time. You know the year on the coin.
Right? Clench it hard. Clench it.
Tight ass.
Tight ass. Yeah, man. I don't know about that anal swab drive-through test. I'm not so sure about that. But they're doing it in Beijing.
And that's A. B. You're the one having to do that with the gloves and the suit.
Oh.
Butt after butt after butt.
Man, that's a whole lot of ass. That's a whole lot of ass.
That's it. You start forgetting faces. You
No.
start losing memories to this shit,
No. I mean, I wonder if you start recognizing people by their ass. You know what I'm saying? You're like, oh, wait, I haven't seen your face, but I remember you.
You were here like 15 minutes ago.
Yeah. Are you enjoying?
Flemish pattern.
Are you enjoying this? What's going on here? Is this no longer a test for you? What is this?
Yeah, you're not here for the test. The guy goes, read the note. You know the joke. Right?
Exactly. Just read the exactly. My God. I don't know. Are you at least feeling a little bit relaxed now that Biden is president? I mean, I definitely am breathing a little bit relief of sigh, just a little bit.
Yeah, I guess, I'm ever vigilant on don't ever give up pushing whoever's at the wheel.
Yeah.
Well, don't let them drive you to a town you don't know,
Yeah. For people,
I know you're going, you have some say.
I mean, for people that are watching and tuning in right now, I have actor and comedian Rick Overton with me here, and I'm sorry we couldn't do it over video because the connection wasn't that great. So, but it's better to have you at least in some form or shape. So we have you on audio.
Yeah.
So
I totally understand that. Thanks for accommodating it.
Of course, Rick, I wanted to actually ask you. Last time you and I spoke or actually hung out, you had mentioned about SAG-AFTRA, which is a actors union that you and I are part of. I mean, you've been part of the union a lot longer than I have, and they did this adjustment thing for people, who have been doing acting for a long time and who are like retired or who are collecting their pension, and they screwed you guys over in some way. Can you talk a little bit about that? Because I would love to know more about that.
What would have been previously guaranteed health benefits for the rest of your pension are now to be discontinued unless met by a brand new, freshly earned, roughly $29,000 or something like that, and not accrued by previously earned residuals anymore. So that no longer factors into your eligibility.
Wow.
For medical. I'm 66 years old, and so I'm pulling, and I want to have my medical now.
Right.
And it's unless I can go land some, and this is, we're talking about in a pandemic that happened.
Jesus.
Dropping everybody from Ed Asner to whatever. It's insane, and the previous president of SAG. And so there you go, folks. That's today's ice cold dynamic.
Wow.
Is going to be, and you can pay some big chunk of money to stay eligible and have some degree of medical, really negligible dental. And so a lot of people are just sitting on hold right now and wondering what's going to happen next. That's latest update I'm hearing about that. But unless you can come up with a brand new $29K, all the bids you made, they don't add up to getting a medical anymore.
That's insane, Rick. That is insane. I mean, first of all, there are no jobs during the pandemic. I mean, there have been...
Right? Exactly.
There are no acting jobs, really. And then on top of that, you're going to drop my medical during a fucking pandemic? And you're like 65 plus and you're dealing with that? I mean, you're already vulnerable because COVID, COVID being more prone for someone, who is of a certain age. And then you're going to drop their medical on top? That's so hard. You know what fascinates me about that, Rick? I was talking about this last week with a guest that, in Hollywood, we talk about being very liberal and progressive and compassionate, kind. But then you hear stuff like by SAG-AFTRA, which is actors union that's supposed to protect actors who have paid into it, into their pension, into their, to their health insurance, like yourself. And now you're just getting dropped. So where's the compassion? Where's the progression? Where's the progress?
It's a good question. Where
is it? Where's the progressive, liberal thing that we talk about in Hollywood?
I'm sitting waiting to see it. We're all waiting, wondering, we spoke our piece and there's just so much we can do about it at this moment. I guess I'm not hearing any more updates about it. And so
that's terrible. That's terrible.
I'm waiting, I don't know what else to do right now. And, I'm the rare audition that everyone now is going to try and get the one part because it's a lot fewer of those and so much larger names are going to leap at them.
That's right.
And it's going to be a different game for us for a little while,
Wow.
Who knows?
Yeah, and what are you supposed to do? Go out and get a job in a grocery store bagging groceries? What are you supposed to do?
I don't know.
Wow.
A lot of people are.
Wow. Well, I'm sorry, Rick, but this is really fucked up. I mean, really, whose decision is this? This is the SAG-AFTRA board members' decision? I mean...
Yeah, the trustees. So, I know that there's going to be ongoing talks about it. I don't know what the outcome of those talks are going to be, but I know that there's people that are not done being concerned about it. Certainly, their complaints haven't gone away.
Wow.
Right? So,
right.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Right. That is pretty... Rick, we're talking about children in cages. I mean, we've touched upon a bunch of different things. We just talked about your SAG-AFTRA thing, about how they're just dropping you guys and not giving you your health insurance. And I look around all of that and I'm like, wow, all of this is happening in the richest country on the planet right now, right? And it all just really boils down to dollars and cents, all of it.
Yeah, a lot of it does. And while everyone's getting robbed at once, keeping the ones being robbed fighting amongst themselves while they're being robbed by someone else.
Right. I mean, even these dumb idiots, the Capitol rioters who went onto DC and wanted to break into the building and all destroy a bunch of federal property. These guys don't have portfolios. Except for that one crazy bitch who took a private jet to Capitol Hill and then got arrested. So I was just like, yeah, she can take a fucking private jet to prison because this bitch deserves it. But how many of these people actually have investments in Wall Street? How many of these people that were in the part of the Capitol riots, actually have they come from money? Like the dude with the fucking buffalo bullhorn and the tatted body, Jake Angeli. That guy is a fucking... He's a 33-year-old grown-ass man living with his mother. Do you think he has money? He doesn't have money. None of these people really have money. The Trump administration didn't put money in their pockets.
They were had. They were played like a kazoo.
Yes. And they let themselves be played.
Nazis.
Yeah. Trump didn't give you an extra fucking $2,000 a month just because you were white. He was just playing on your bullshit, on your ignorance and your hate to fill his own goddamn pockets and give himself the power. Not you.
That money wasn't worth going to prison, but bye-bye. You fell right into the trap.
It's so fucking stupid. And now they're like, oh, I don't trust Trump. He played me. Really? You dumb motherfucker. You didn't see that shit before? You fucking moron.
But you live in this weird era where you heard him say it at all for any reason on earth. That's the miracle of it, as opposed to you'll never hear them say it ever. fact that he said it is astounding to me.
You mean the followers coming out and saying that they got played?
Yes.
Yeah. A couple of them came out and said we got played. I mean,
Pride likes to admit they're wrong. Nobody does it. No one likes it.
Of course not. And now they're. Did you hear about this one black guy that was also part of the riots? He went in and he's not getting bail. All his other white counterpart protesters got made bail. He's not getting anything. They're like, nope, you're gonna rot in prison. You're not going out.
Yeah, right.
And I'm just like,
there'll be examples.
Yeah.
A lot of people in between, I guess, gonna go into the bus.
I'm looking at this brother. I'm like, brother, you didn't see that? You didn't see that coming? Hasn't the history of this country taught you that? Like, that there are two justice systems and the justice system for you is not going to work for you?
Right.
Madness. It's fucking, it's insane to me, Rick. I don't know. I don't know. Okay, let me ask you this, Rick Overton. How are you feeling about the Biden administration? Do you think he is going to help end the pandemic, B, bring the economy back?
For who? Is the big question. Who's he bringing the economy back?
I mean, for the working class, for people like you and I.
Heard of,
For working class, for people like you and I.
Oh, yeah. That's, well, he hasn't shown any great gestures in that direction so far. He's been much nicer to the millionaires and billionaires. We'll see. That suddenly the $2,000 check with a little bit of magic and a little bit of this and a little bit of BS, suddenly it's $1,400. Well, what about the $600 I gave you before?
Yeah.
What are you crying about, you giant baby, just because you're homeless?
Yeah.
Everything's getting more expensive. It's not getting cheaper.
Yeah.
And we're gouged.
Yep. Rick, I personally think, I don't know how we can start some kind of a petition, but I think every working class person who has lost their job during the pandemic should be getting $3,000 a month. That's it. Flat. $3,000 a month. You have a job, you're making money, you don't get that. But you lost your job, you can't make income, you're a freelancer, you're going in debt, $3,000 a month flat. Here you go. There's a $3,000 check for you.
It's cheap. It's a cheap bargain to not be seen as evil.
Right. Yeah. I mean, how much would $3,000 cost? I mean, what do we have? The unemployment numbers are in what? Still double digits right now.
Yeah. They're not doing anything that would obviously really spur the economy. They're just keeping certain giant corporations alive.
I mean, that's always the case, right?
All that money they're giving them should have been money from us giving to them. And which means they're cutting us out of the equation.
Right. What you mean cutting us out of the equation, meaning taking the money, bailing out the big dudes, and then leaving the working class hanging? Is that what you mean?
The money should have been handed to us.
Yeah.
And we'll go to those big places and buy their stuff, and they get the money from us instead of just directly from the government to them.
That's right.
The merchant doesn't have to make anything.
Right.
And they get all the money while we get nothing, and they're using our money to do that.
That's right. That's exactly what they're doing. I mean, look, if, when I look at people who are mom and pop shops who invested their lifetime of savings in their business, and now their business is gone and they have to file for bankruptcy and God knows what other assets they have to lose because of this pandemic, the government doesn't care. What is the government going to do? Oh, we're going to bail you out. We're going to help you out. That's what the PPP loans were supposed to do. The PPP loans, I am incorporated, right? Because I'm a business. I went ahead and applied just to get not a lot of money, just $5,000. That was it. This is the God honest truth. I applied for $5,000. They sent me an email. Sorry, we had too many applications, which is 300,000 applications. Sorry, we have to include you in the second round of getting $5,000. $5,000 is nothing. Nothing. As a business, it's nothing. They're like, nope, sorry, we got to include you in the second round. Sorry, we didn't have enough money to pay you out. Right, because you wrote a $20 million fucking check to Harvard, which Harvard should have never gotten.
Yeah, They have their income.
They have their income. Look, if Elon Musk isn't hurting for money, Jeff Bezos isn't hurting for money. Jeff Bezos made money during the pandemic. Elon Musk made money during the pandemic.
Right.
So who bails us out, Rick? Who's supposed to look out for us?
It's not going to be this administration. They have shown no indication that they have any intention of doing that.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know, Rick. I sometimes, I sometimes lose faith. I mean, are you a fan of Bernie Sanders? I mean, I recently made a post. Was it yesterday or the day before yesterday? That we need to start greed shaming people. When you show greed, we need to start shaming those people. Oh, you're a greedy asshole? We're gonna shame you. What do you think, Rick?
The way that's happening on social media, I think that's part of what they're going to try and lock down on.
Yeah.
Is you're working with the Boogaloo Boys or something like that when you go after these large corporations that only the Boogaloo Boys hate the corporations or whatever that is.
Right.
They'll associate you with people. It's just absurd that they would think that you're connected in any way with those people, but to shame you, they'll throw that in reverse. And I think they're starting to get a taste of it back because people are seeing through it. It's so clumpy. It's so obvious in high school, petty and fucked up mentality.
Yeah.
The people, whoa, wait a minute. That accusation doesn't make a lot. That's like not an adult talking. That's not a fully formed adult. Holy crap. These people, these mind fuckers are starting to really blow it. They're overdoing it. They're jumping the shark, man.
Right.
They're really, really pushing too far, and it looks bad for them. They finally blew it. By overdoing it, they blew it.
Right.
Well, that's too much.
Well, we're gonna start wrapping up, Rick, but honest to God, my prayer is that those children, those 500 children that were kept in cages and are now gone missing, are not part of sex trafficking. I really pray to God they're not ending up in some pedophile's home.
Totally, I think it's been a trafficking operation. Totally.
Right.
When kids go missing, they'll whoops. There's no whoops to that.
Yeah.
Well, no prison lets anybody get away.
That's right.
No Guantanamo lets anybody get away.
Yep.
Kids get away.
Yep.
Yeah, fucking break.
I agree,
Right.
Rick. I agree.
Right. Yeah.
Sorry, Rick. This conversation has been. Yeah. Sorry. Go ahead.
You called it once again, Mona.
Yeah, I did. What did I call?
Oh, you're just putting it all together.
But Rick, every time I talk to you, you always do that.
Well, that's why we have these kinds of talks.
Apparently, I'm putting stuff together.
That's been doing it good.
Well, I hope to God that I'm wrong. I hope to God that those kids are safe. I hope to God that those kids are, meet their parents and reach their parents, are safe. So I think that's what I pray for.
Me too.
Yeah. Rick, where can people find you? Can we follow you on social media? I know you're pretty big on Facebook.
A little bit of the Facebook and at Rick Overton on Twitter.
Rick Overton on Twitter. Rick, always a pleasure, my friend. Always a pleasure.
Thanks, Mona.
Thank you.
Same.
Talk to you soon.
Talk.
Thank you. Same here. Take care. That was the lovely Rick Overton. I'm sorry we couldn't do a video and an audio because the connection on Rick's part wasn't very smooth. So I was just like, we'll just bring him on the phone and have a conversation to the best of our ability. You guys, sorry about the choppy video today, but it was a short conversation, but a good one nonetheless. I will be back tomorrow with a brand new guest, and I'm very excited about this guest. Today was a really good day. I'm actually a little exhausted. I've gotten some really great news about something very big that is going down next week. Sadly, I can't talk about it right now, but when I am done with it and when they've given me the permission, I would be more than happy to share with you guys. But until then, If you haven't followed me on my YouTube channel, please do. You can follow me on YouTube at Mona Shea Comedian. You can follow me on TikTok at the same, Mona Shea Comedian, Facebook, Mona Shea Comedian, and Instagram and Twitter at Mona's Comedy. See you tomorrow, 6:15 Pacific. Have a good night. Stay safe out there.